Super Bowl LIX, a stage where legends are made, where victory and defeat are written in the history books. But on this night, the headlines would not be about the game alone. Something else, far more personal, would capture the attention of fans and the media alike. The Super Bowl was electrifying, but for one of the NFL's biggest stars, Travis Kelce, this night would be marred by something unexpected. Taylor Swift, who had been cheering for her boyfriend in the stands, was unexpectedly booed by a section of the crowd. Travis Kelce, the star tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, had already secured his place as one of football's greats. His athleticism, charisma, and leadership on the field have earned him fans around the world. But it was his very public relationship with global superstar Taylor Swift that placed his personal life in the spotlight, with fans eagerly following every moment of their romance. Swift, who had been at the Super Bowl to support her boyfriend, had been cheered and adored by millions for her music and her impact on the entertainment world. But on this night, in the heat of the moment, the unthinkable happened. As she was shown on the big screen, a section of the crowd responded with boos. The sound was jarring, a stark contrast to the usual applause that accompanies a star of her caliber. Travis Kelce, a man known for his strength on the field and his confident demeanor, found himself in a deeply uncomfortable situation. Reports say he was visibly devastated by the boos, a reaction that left him reeling and struggling to focus on the game. Kelce, who had worked tirelessly throughout his career to rise to the pinnacle of professional football, found himself in an emotionally charged moment that no athlete or partner could have anticipated. It was hard to ignore. You could see the effect it had on Travis. He's not just an athlete, he's a person. And for someone in his position, seeing his loved one publicly targeted like that, especially in such a high-profile event, can be jarring. No one prepares you for those kinds of moments. Though Travis was clearly affected, he did his best to push through. Yet, this was more than just a game. This was about protecting someone he loved, someone who had become a central part of his world. Fans who had cheered for the couple's relationship were now witnessing the vulnerability of a man who had always seemed untouchable on the field. And though Kelce's dedication to his team remained unwavering, it was impossible to ignore the emotional toll the moment had taken on him. Taylor Swift, ever the professional, kept her composure. But the emotional weight of being booed in a place where she should have been celebrated was undeniable. Fans and onlookers couldn't help but feel for both of them in that moment. Two individuals, each with their own massive careers, now finding themselves at the mercy of public opinion in a way neither had anticipated. Travis, can you share your thoughts on what happened during the game, with the boos and the situation surrounding Taylor? Look, it's tough. I don't know what went through the minds of those people, but Taylor didn't deserve that. She came here to enjoy the game, to cheer me on, and all she's ever done is show support. I'll always defend her. It's hard, but we'll get through this together, just like we always do. Though Travis tried to brush off the incident, it was clear that the emotional weight of the situation stayed with him throughout the rest of the game. And for many fans, it was a reminder of the very real challenges that come with being in the public eye. What should have been a celebration of love and teamwork instead became a moment of profound emotional difficulty for both Travis and Taylor. The response from fans was immediate. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of support for the couple. Many voiced their outrage over the incident, denouncing the behavior of those responsible for the boos. At the same time, others took to expressing empathy, understanding the pressure that both Travis and Taylor were under in that moment. Despite the painful incident, Travis and Taylor were seen leaving the stadium together. Though the weight of the night was evident, their strength as a couple was undeniable. The boos that reverberated throughout the stadium would not define their relationship, nor would it define Travis's legacy as an athlete. In the end, it was a reminder of the complexities of fame, of how the spotlight can sometimes be blinding, even for those who seem invincible. For both Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, this night would likely become an unexpected chapter in their relationship, While the boos from the crowd were a harsh reminder of the darker side of being in the public eye, the way they handled the situation together revealed a deeper bond built on mutual support and understanding. In the midst of the chaos, it was evident that the couple's connection went beyond the superficialities of fame. They stood side by side, walking out of the stadium not as two superstars, but as two people navigating the complexities of a relationship in the spotlight, showing the world that their commitment to each other was stronger than any external noise. As they exited the stadium, Taylor was visibly composed, her face carrying an expression that suggested both disappointment and resilience. Travis, too, wore a serious look, but there was an unmistakable calmness in his demeanor. The two of them walked close, sharing quiet words, their gestures hinting at a shared understanding of how difficult the evening had been. The cameras flashed around them, but they remained focused on each other, offering each other the solace they needed in a world that too often demands perfection from those in the public eye. The boos at the Super Bowl had been jarring, a momentary lapse in the usual adoration reserved for Taylor, especially at an event as high-profile as the Super Bowl. As one of the most successful musicians in the world, Taylor had become accustomed to public scrutiny, but this particular incident struck a nerve. It was not the first time she had faced criticism, but this moment felt different. It was not just the boos themselves, but the fact that they were directed at someone she loved. Taylor, who had spent years crafting her public persona, had always been able to weather the storms of her career with grace. But tonight was a reminder that no one is immune to the hurt that can come from public disapproval. For Travis, this incident was an unfortunate intersection of his personal life and his professional career. As a star in the NFL, he had often faced intense media scrutiny, but nothing had prepared him for the emotional toll of seeing his partner publicly targeted in such a manner. The boos were more than just noise to him. They were a direct assault on someone he deeply cared about. As an athlete, Travis had been trained to block out distractions, to focus solely on the game and his performance on the field. But this was a personal moment, and it was impossible for him to ignore the impact it had on Taylor. His protective instinct kicked in, and in that moment, it was clear that he cared more about shielding her from the harsh realities of fame than anything else. However, as the evening went on, it became apparent that the boos would not define the evening for either of them. Taylor and Travis's bond seemed to grow even stronger in the aftermath, with both of them showing a remarkable level of support for one another. The public spotlight had a way of turning private moments into public spectacles, but they refused to let the negativity take over their narrative. Instead, they demonstrated a quiet strength, not through grand gestures, but in the way they continued to show up for each other. Social media, too, was quick to react. Fans and critics alike took to their platforms to discuss the incident. Some expressed outrage, condemning the crowd for booing Taylor, while others attempted to rationalize the situation, suggesting it was just a brief moment of poor judgment by a few individuals. What was clear, however, was that the support for the couple was overwhelming. Fans from around the world came to their defense, many acknowledging that being in the spotlight was never as glamorous as it seemed. Behind the headlines and the flashing cameras were real people who dealt with the same emotional turmoil as anyone else, despite their fame and success. In the aftermath, the incident sparked a broader conversation about the pressures of public life. Celebrities, particularly those as high-profile as Taylor and Travis, are often expected to maintain an air of perfection, as though they are immune to the struggles that come with being human. The reality, however, is far more complicated. While fame offers unparalleled opportunities and access, it also comes with a price. The public's constant gaze, the intense scrutiny, and the expectations that come with living in the spotlight can be overwhelming, even for the most seasoned celebrities. Taylor and Travis, though resilient, were no different. They had both experienced their share of media criticism, but in that moment, it was clear that no amount of fame or success could shield them from the harshness of public opinion. This experience would likely be something that both of them would reflect on in the coming weeks. It was a moment that reminded them that fame, while rewarding, could also be isolating. But it also brought them closer together. They had each other to rely on, and that was something that no external force could take away. The way they handled the situation with grace, with dignity, and with an unwavering commitment to one another spoke volumes about the strength of their relationship. As the weeks went by, Taylor and Travis continued to face the public eye with the same professionalism they had always maintained. The Super Bowl incident, though painful, had not defined them. It was just another chapter in their lives, a reminder of how fame can be both a blessing and a burden. But as they moved forward, it was clear that their bond was unshaken. They continued to show up for each other, supporting each other's careers and navigating the ups and downs of life in the public eye together. In the end, the boos at the Super Bowl were a fleeting moment, but the strength of Taylor and Travis's relationship would endure far beyond that night. It served as a reminder to both of them, and to their fans, that even in the face of adversity, love and loyalty are what truly matter. Fame may place them under a microscope, but it was their connection, their support for one another, and their resilience that would define their journey together. And no amount of public disapproval could ever take that away. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have weathered their share of public scrutiny, but through it all, they have remained resilient. The events of Super Bowl LIX may have shaken them, but their bond, built on love and mutual respect, will only grow stronger in the face of adversity. And as they move forward, the world will watch, not just as fans of their careers, but as witnesses to their courage in navigating the complexities of fame, love, and life in the public eye.